Expand your vocabulary with our core 2,000 words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free Japanese ebook before it's gone. When learning a new language, everyone should have an ultimate goal to work towards. Whether you want to be able to connect with a relative, easily order food while traveling, or go somewhere new, having an end goal for your learning can be very motivating. A popular but challenging goal is being able to speak like a native speaker. It's difficult to measure exactly when you reach this goal, and it's not something you can pick up using textbooks alone. So how do you work on making your speech more natural? That's what we're going to look at today. Here are 3 tips to help you practice talking like a native speaker. Number 1, focus on vocabulary. If your goal is to speak like a native, you might be really focused on speaking quickly or using as many complex grammar patterns as possible. But in our native languages, we're not always trying to speak as fast as possible, and we use complex grammar patterns when necessary, not to show off. Vocabulary, however, is extremely important to expressing ourselves naturally. Your choice of words can reveal a lot about you and your understanding of the language. Most learners have had the experience of using a phrasebook or a dictionary to find a word they want to use, trying the word in conversation, and getting a look of confusion from the native speaker. In some cases, although your word choice may be grammatically correct, the word may be inappropriate for the situation or totally unnatural. This is especially important in business and other formal situations, where the right level of formality and professionalism is key. Being able to understand nuances in vocabulary words can also help you understand relationships between people just by listening to the conversation. Try to listen to many different types of conversations. Listen to how people talk to their friends, their superiors, and in customer service situations. This will give you a better idea of how to talk to others naturally. In some languages, you can omit words from sentences or use more direct communication styles. It's important to be aware of these things so you can apply them yourself. Colloquialisms and slang are also commonly used in most languages. As this sort of vocabulary is always evolving, it can be difficult to keep up with the latest words. Talk with native speakers and consume media in your target language to make sure you pick up these kinds of expressions. Media is a great resource for your learning. Ultimately, knowing the appropriate vocabulary to use for each situation will really help you sound more knowledgeable. Number 2, perfect your accent. With every language, there are unique pronunciation and intonation challenges. Some languages are tonal languages, and a change in pitch can completely change the meaning of a word. Then there's the fact that most countries have multiple dialects, and so people from one area of the country may sound different from those in another. So what is the best way to listen to a wide range of accents and different pronunciations? Video and audio resources are a great way to do this. YouTube is a perfect place to start because people from all kinds of different backgrounds upload videos to the platform. You can watch educational videos, daily life vlogs, cooking shows, a travel series, whatever interests you. Pay attention to the different ways people speak. Everyone is unique. And then practice speaking like them. This kind of practice can help you sound more natural. One note, please be aware of the type of resources you're using. For example, if you find a video where a speaker uses a rare dialect, it might not be a good idea to use that for your pronunciation practice, unless you have a special reason for studying a specific accent. As a general rule, it's best to try to search for practice resources that use a standard form of the language you're studying. Number 3, copy what you hear. Do you remember how you learned to speak as a child? We rarely learned new words just listening to them, or reading after we learned how. When we were little kids, we imitated the sounds we heard by repeating the sounds out loud. While you're talking to a friend, watching videos, or listening to audio in your target language, you can do this to try and replicate the way they speak. Doing this will help you work on mastering the flow of the language, your accent, intonation, and pronunciation. Of course, you might also pick up some new vocabulary this way. Make sure to repeat new words often. It's a great way to make sure you remember them. Try doing this using a number of different mediums and sources. That way, you'll be exposed to the diversity that the language offers and master the fundamentals of pronunciation. For example, You can watch and imitate several different YouTube videos and audio CDs, but try a few different sources, like different creators or different audio types, to make sure you experience a wide range of communication in your target language. If you're using our language learning program, you can even get your own teacher with Premium Plus. Your teacher can answer questions, give assignments, and even listen to your recordings and give you advice on pronunciation. Completing these kinds of lessons with a native teacher can really boost your confidence in your speaking skills. Becoming able to speak like a native is a popular goal for many people learning a new language. It feels great to be able to communicate smoothly, especially when the people you're talking to expect basic level sentences or broken communication. Try using the tips we've shared in this video to work on improving your speaking skills. Of course, it'll take time and persistence, but the reward will be more natural communication. And for even more tips on speaking, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye!
Are you struggling to understand conversations in your target language? This video will improve your listening skills using practice dialogues. How do you know if your language skills are improving? Our team of teachers have designed a free quiz to determine your actual learning level. So click the link in the description to get your free assessment and unlock lessons that are right for you. In this lesson, you'll listen to a dialogue with the text. Second, you'll review the key vocabulary, followed by the English translations. And finally, you'll review the dialogue with the text again to master what you learned. First, listen to the dialogue with the text on the screen.
ありがとうございます。ホットピザでございます。
ピザの配達をお願いします。
ありがとうございます。ではまず、お電話番号とお名前をお願いします。
090-1234-5678スミスです。
スミス様ですね。ご住所もお願いします。
東京都港区赤坂 1-3-5 です。
かしこまりました。では、ご注文をどうぞ。
Now you'll hear the key vocabulary, followed by the English translation.
配達
Delivery, distribution.
東京都
Tokyo Metropolitan Area.
区
Ward.
Finally, let's review the dialogue again. See if you can understand more this time.
ありがとうございます。ホットピザでございます。
ピザの配達をお願いします。
ありがとうございます。ではまず、お電話番号とお名前をお願いします。
090-1234-5678スミスです。
スミス様ですね。ご住所もお願いします。
東京都港区赤坂 1-3-5 です。
かしこまりました。では、ご注文をどうぞ。
This is the end of the lesson. In this lesson, you improved your listening and mastered key vocabulary for everyday life conversation. Don't forget to click the link in the description to get your free assessment and unlock lessons that are right for your learning level. Keep practicing and move on to the next lesson. Are you struggling to understand conversations in your target language? This video will improve your listening skills using practice dialogues. How do you know if your language skills are improving? Our team of teachers have designed a free quiz to determine your actual learning level. So click the link in the description to get your free assessment and unlock lessons that are right for you. In this lesson, you'll listen to a dialogue with the text. Second, you'll review the key vocabulary, followed by the English translations. And finally, you'll review the dialogue with the text again to master what you learned. First, listen to the dialogue with the text on the screen.
では、ご注文をお願いします。
照り焼きピザの L サイズを1枚お願いします。
はい。ピザの生地はどうしますか？
どんな生地がありますか？
はい。パン生地タイプの厚い生地とクリスピータイプの薄い生地がございます。
じゃあ、薄い方でお願いします。
かしこまりました。ご注文は以上でよろしいでしょうか？
はい。どれくらいかかりますか？
40分ほどでお届けします。ご注文ありがとうございました。
Now you'll hear the key vocabulary, followed by the English translation.
注文
Order.
届ける
To deliver, to take, to bring.
方
type
厚い
thick
生地
Uncooked dough. Batter. Cloth.
以上
This is all. Over.
Finally, let's review the dialogue again. See if you can understand more this time.
では、ご注文をお願いします。
照り焼きピザの L サイズを1枚お願いします。
はい。ピザの生地はどうしますか？
どんな生地がありますか？
はい。パン生地タイプの厚い生地とクリスピータイプの薄い生地がございます。
じゃあ、薄い方でお願いします。
かしこまりました。ご注文は以上でよろしいでしょうか？
はい。どれくらいかかりますか？
40分ほどでお届けします。ご注文ありがとうございました。
This is the end of the lesson. In this lesson, you improved your listening and mastered key vocabulary for everyday life conversation. Don't forget to click the link in the description to get your free assessment and unlock lessons that are right for your learning level. Keep practicing and move on to the next lesson.
Get our complete learning program with real lessons by real teachers. That's it for today. See you next time. またね. Welcome to Fun and Easy Japanese by JapanesePort101.com. What's the best way to say sorry in Japanese? Can you just say すみません? Or should you instead say 申し訳ありませんでした and bow? You're about to find out. こんにちは、リサです. Hi everyone, I'm Risa.
And I'm Alicia.
In this lesson, you'll learn 10 ways to say sorry in Japanese.
You'll also learn when to use each one and what kind of body language to use. In particular, you'll learn 3 formal ways to apologize, 3 extremely deep and polite ways to apologize, and 4 informal ways to apologize.
Let's start with 3 common ways to apologize formally.
You can use these at work, restaurants, shops, or other places of business. And you use them with people you're not close to or in situations where professional relationships exist, like between employees and managers or customers and staff. When using the following words, the common gesture to make is to place both of your arms and hands straight along your body or place one of your hands in front of your lower belly, covering it with your other hand. You then slightly tilt down, like when you bow. With any of these, you should also make a sorry expression with your face and your head. Please remember that body language is important. If you don't come across as sincere, you risk making the situation even worse.
Let's now go over what to say. The first way to say sorry is すみません. I'm sorry. すみません。すみません。
This is the most common way to say sorry in Japanese. It means I'm sorry or excuse me, but it can also mean thank you in some cases. This may be difficult to understand, but in Japan, when other people do us a favor, we feel sorry for using their time and effort, so we're thankful for it.
You can say すみません when you bump into someone on the street, or when you spill a glass of water and the waitress has to clean it up. Let's look at some examples. すみません、水をこぼしてしまいました。I'm sorry, I spilled the water. すみません、水をこぼしてしまいました。すみません、水をこぼしてしまいました。As an example of saying, excuse me, すみません、切符はどこで買えますか？ Excuse me, where can I buy a ticket? すみません、切符はどこで買えますか？すみません、切符はどこで買えますか？ And as an example of saying thank you, すみません、ポケットから落ちたのに気づきませんでした。Thank you, I didn't notice it fell from my pocket. すみません、ポケットから落ちたのに気づきませんでした。すみません、ポケットから落ちたのに気づきませんでした。The next way to say sorry is すみませんでした。I am very sorry. すみませんでした。すみませんでした。This is the past tense of すみません, and it is considered more serious since it sounds more formal and polite. Unlike すみません, this phrase doesn't have the meaning of excuse me or thank you. Suppose you broke a glass at the restaurant, you could then say, グラスを壊してしまいすみませんでした。I'm sorry for breaking the glass. グラスを壊してしまいすみませんでした。グラスを壊してしまいすみませんでした。And lastly, the third way is 失礼しました。I'm sorry for my mistake. 失礼しました。失礼しました。This is another formal way to say sorry. 失礼 literally means impoliteness, rudeness, or bad manners. And so the phrase means I was rude or I had bad manners. You can use it the same way as すみませんでした。And if you want to say it more politely, you can use the more respectful いたしました instead of しました。For example, if you ordered miso ramen, but the waiter brought you the wrong dish, he might say, 失礼しました。すぐに味噌ラーメンをお持ちします。I'm sorry, I will bring miso ramen as soon as possible. 失礼しました。すぐに味噌ラーメンをお持ちします。失礼しました。すぐに味噌ラーメンをお持ちします。Or you might hear an employee at a store say, 間違った商品の値段をお伝えしまして失礼いたしました。I'm sorry that I told you the wrong price of the product. 間違った商品の値段をお伝えしまして失礼いたしました。間違った商品の値段をお伝えしまして失礼いたしました。Now, let's move on to part 2. 3 of the deepest and most polite ways to apologize in Japanese. These next 3 phrases are quite serious and should be used when you've done something really bad. In order to show seriousness and sincerity, adverbs such as 非常に, greatly, 大変, terribly, or 誠に, truly, are often added in front of the following phrases as well.
When you say these, place both of your arms and hands straight along your body and bow 60 degrees forward with your head and face down. If the situation is more serious, bow 90 degrees instead. The angle of the bow shows the level of severity.
In the case of an extremely severe situation, you can express your seriousness by performing 土下座. 土下座 involves kneeling down on both of your knees with your hands placed on the ground, prostrating yourself with your forehead touching the floor. In daily life, 土下座 is hardly ever used unless you run over someone with your car and are going to apologize to the victim's family. The first phrase is 申し訳ありませんでした. I am terribly sorry. I sincerely apologize. 申し訳ありません. 申し訳ありません. The word 申し comes from the honorific word 申す, which means to say. In the form of 謙譲語 or humble language, when you say it, you lower your rank below that of the person you are speaking to. わけ means reason. ありません means there is no. And でした makes the past tense. The phrase, therefore, literally translates to there was no reason or excuse to say for what I have done. Let's use it in some examples. To their boss, someone might say, 会議に遅刻してしまい、誠に申し訳ありませんでした。I am truly sorry that I came late for the meeting. 会議に遅刻してしまい、誠に申し訳ありませんでした。会議に遅刻してしまい、誠に申し訳ありませんでした。Or, if you bought an item which you later found was broken, a store employee might say, 大変申し訳ありませんでした。新しいものに交換します。I am terribly sorry. I will replace it with a new one. 大変申し訳ありませんでした。新しいものに交換します。大変申し訳ありませんでした。新しいものに交換します。The second very polite phrase is 申し訳ございませんでした。I am terribly sorry. I sincerely apologize. 申し訳ございませんでした。申し訳ございませんでした。This is similar to 申し訳ありませんでした。But it's more polite and respectful. ございません is the negative form of ございます, which means there is or there are in a very polite and respectful way. Let's picture this with an example. If you're responsible for a minor car accident, you could say, 大変申し訳ございませんでした。損害の賠償をします。I am terribly sorry. I will compensate for the damage. 大変申し訳ございませんでした。損害の賠償をします。大変申し訳ございませんでした。損害の賠償をします。And the last phrase is お詫び申し上げます。I deeply apologize. お詫び申し上げます。お詫び申し上げます。This phrase is usually used after you apologize with 申し訳ありませんでした or 申し訳ございませんでした。The word お詫び is a polite word for apology, so the phrase directly translates to I state apology in a polite and respectful way. Let's have a look at how to use it. 大変申し訳ございませんでした。お詫び申し上げます。We are terribly sorry. I humbly apologize. 大変申し訳ございませんでした。お詫び申し上げます。大変申し訳ございませんでした。お詫び申し上げます。And lastly, let's go over informal apologies.
You can use these words with family, friends, and people you know very well. These words are used in situations where you did something wrong, but it wasn't that bad. You don't need to use gestures for these kinds of apologies, but in some cases, for instance, people might casually put their palms together in front of their face.
The first informal way to say sorry is ごめん sorry ごめんごめん The word ごめん originally meant forgive or pardon, and it was used when politely asking for forgiveness. Nowadays, it just means sorry. And if you want to say it in a cute or affectionate way, you add ne to the end, as in ごめんね sorry ごめんねごめんね Let's look at an example involving a couple. Male version ごめん、俺が悪かった Sorry, I was bad. Female version ごめんね、私も Sorry, me too. The next word is 失礼 Sorry, excuse me. 失礼失礼失礼 is the short and casual version of 失礼しました from the beginning of this video. The word can also be used as excuse me. As an example, suppose you are passing through a group of friends, you could say 失礼通るよ Sorry, let me pass. 失礼通るよ失礼通るよ A third casual way to say sorry is with the word 悪い my bad 悪い悪い It literally means bad, but in this case, you can use it to mean my bad. It sounds a little rough, so this word is used mainly by men. Imagine a boyfriend is late for dinner at a restaurant. He could say 悪いちょっと遅れる先に行って何か頼んでて Sorry, I'll be a bit late. You can go first and order something. 悪いちょっと遅れる先に行って何か頼んでて悪いちょっと遅れる先に行って何か頼んでて And lastly, we have ごめんなさい I am sorry ごめんなさいごめんなさいごめんなさい is a more polite version of ごめん It is considered informal, but in some cases, this phrase can be used in semi-formal occasions as well. Here's an example sentence. ごめんなさい、お母さんのパソコン壊しちゃった。I'm sorry, I broke mom's computer. ごめんなさい、お母さんのパソコン壊しちゃった。ごめんなさい、お母さんのパソコン壊しちゃった。But if you want to offer a deep apology in an informal situation, you can add 本当に or truly in front of ごめんなさい。It also looks more polite and sincere when you hold your hands in front of your lower belly or put your palms together in front of your face. 本当にごめんなさい。君に借りた本をなくした。I'm very sorry. I lost the book I borrowed from you. 本当にごめんなさい。君に借りた本をなくした。本当にごめんなさい。君に借りた本をなくした。And that's it! In this lesson, you learned 10 ways to say sorry in Japanese across all formality levels.
Are you struggling to understand conversations in your target language? This video will improve your listening skills using practice dialogues. How do you know if your language skills are improving? Our team of teachers have designed a free quiz to determine your actual learning level. So click the link in the description to get your free assessment and unlock lessons that are right for you. In this lesson, you'll listen to a dialogue with the text. Second, you'll review the key vocabulary followed by the English translations. And finally, you'll review the dialogue with the text again to master what you learned. First, listen to the dialogue with the text on the screen.
いらっしゃいませ。何名様ですか？
4人です。
禁煙席と喫煙席、どちらがよろしいですか？
禁煙席をお願いします。
はい。では、こちらへどうぞ。
窓側の席でもいいですか？
はい、大丈夫です。どうぞ。
Now you'll hear the key vocabulary. followed by the English translation.
喫煙
Smoking.
禁煙
Non-smoking. 側 Beside.
窓
Window.
Finally, let's review the dialogue again. See if you can understand more this time.
いらっしゃいませ。何名様ですか？
4人です。
禁煙席と喫煙席、どちらがよろしいですか？
禁煙席をお願いします。
はい。では、こちらへどうぞ。
窓側の席でもいいですか？
はい、大丈夫です。どうぞ。
This is the end of the lesson. In this lesson, you improved your listening and mastered key vocabulary for everyday life conversation. Don't forget to click the link in the description to get your free assessment and unlock lessons that are right for your learning level. Keep practicing and move on to the next lesson.
Minasan konbanwa. Hi everyone. Do you like music? I love music. Music was one of the reasons why I started learning English. Today I'm in Shibuya. I'm going to ask Japanese people what kind of music do they like or who's their favorite artist. Let's go. Let's get someone.
匠です。
たくみさん、よろしくお願いします。今結構最近音楽を聴かない人が多くなってきているみたいで、街に出てちょっと好きなアーティストとか聞いてみようと思って今聞いてるんですけど、特に好きなアーティストいますか？
いやー、ラッドウィンプスですかね。
ラッドウィンプス、歌詞いいですよね。
歌詞が、はい、すごくいいですね。洋次郎さん大好きです。
すごい才能ですよね、あの人本当に。
しびれます。
お名前は何ですか？
みかこです。みかこです。
みかこさん。
名前は
公平です。
浩平さん、お二人好きなアーティストとかいますか？
私はももクロが好きです。
ももいろクローバー、今日初めて会いました。好きなメンバーというか、なんていうんですか、推しメンは誰ですか？
紫のレニちゃんが好きです。
お好きなアーティストはどなたですか？
私はサカナクションというアーティス
サカナクション。いや、こんばんは。お名前をお伺いしてもよろしいですか？
ト。佐々木和之です。
和之さん。今日本の音楽について聞いてるんですけど、好きなバンドとか歌手っていますか？
僕は割とオフコースとか。
オフコース。ああ。
山下達郎とか知らないです。
じゃあ基本的に聞くのは邦楽がメインですか？
昔は結構洋楽も多かったんです。
洋楽で好きな歌手は誰が好きでしたか？
洋楽で好きな歌手は、まあ古くはビートルズとか。
ビートルズいいですよね。もう色あせないですよね。
ビートルズ、スティービー・ワンダーとか。
私の名前ひろきって言います。
ひろきさん、お願いします。名前何ですか？
コウジです。
コウジさん、お二人はお友達ですか？はい。渋谷にはよく来ますか？
渋谷にはたまに。
はい。嘘つくなって言われてます。
いや、本当です。はい。
今日は音楽について聞いてるんですけど、好きな歌手とかバンドっていますか？
好きな歌手は清水翔太とか。
清水翔太。好きな歌手はいますか？
歌手はテイラー・スウィフトとか。
あと誰かですか？
あとトリプル A とか。
トリプル A。男女混合グループの。じゃあお名前は何ですか？
坂本です。
坂本さん。
すいません。
坂本さん。普段音楽聴きますか？
はい。
どんな音楽聴きますか？
なんやろう。結構昔の曲とかが多い。
昔の曲、例えば。
ジュディマリとか。
おお、ジュディマリ。Oh, you like it? 彼女好きみたいですね。じゃあお名前お伺いしてもよろしいですか？
加藤博之です。
加藤博之。
はい。
好きな音楽について聞いてて、好きな歌手とかバンドいますか？
ビートルズと2パックが好きです。
2パック。2パックってラップです。ラップの、日本人で好きな人っています？
日本人はあんまりいないです。
あんまり、
はい、
じゃあ普段は邦楽はあんまり聞かなくて、その洋楽中心って感じですか？
そうですね、はい。
その好きな歌手とかバンドいますか？
歌手とかバンド
誰が好きですか？
シャンクとか。
シャンフ？
シャンク。
シャンク、K-POP ですか？
シャンクです。
シャンク。
日本のバンド。
知らない。シャンク。どういったバンドですか？
なんか激しいロックみたいな。英語の歌詞歌ったりするんですけど、好きでライブ行ったりとか。
そのバンドはみんな日本人？
日本人です、日本人。
違う。
シャンク
ご存知ですか？
いや、初めて聞きました。
聞け。好きな歌手やバンドはいますか？
米津玄師です。
米津玄師、私も知ってる。
高校生の時は僕大塚愛が好きでした。
さくらんぼ。
はいとか今はそうですね、誰だろうな、長渕とかは時々聞きますけど。
やっぱり熱い人が好きなんですかね。
そうですね、それは多分あると思いますね。
尾崎豊とかもいいですよね。
あんまり聞かないですね。
特に好きな曲ありますか？
いやー、好きな曲は二人ごとですかね。
二人ごと、どの曲かな、わかんないな。で、サカナクションお好きなんですよね。一番好きな曲は何ですか？
一番好きな曲、なんですかね。アイデンティティとか有名なんですけど。
アイデンティティ。
はい、好きですね。
走れって曲が一番。
走れ。どんな曲ですか？
なんかどんな、なんだろう、辛い毎日でも明日は頑張っていこうっていう、なんか背中を押してくれるような曲ですね。
テイラー・スウィフトのどの曲が好きですか？
シェイク・イット・オフの
曲の名前思い出そうとしたんですけど今思い出せなくて、有名な曲って何ですか？
有名な曲は恋音と雨空っていう。
東横線ジュリー&マリーの曲の中で好きな曲ありますか？
でもそばかすとか
一番有名な曲ですよね、そばかす。その日本のオフコースとか、その山下達郎さんがお好きとおっしゃってましたけど、歌詞で好きな部分ってありますか？なんか好きな言葉
にできない。いい
ですね。言葉にできない言葉にできないですね。
好きな歌詞、
なんかここに勇気づけられたとかでもいいんですけど、
なんか、自分と重なるわけじゃないんですけど、ももクロ最近4人になっちゃったんですけど、なんかでもその5人だった時になんかどの色が欠けてもなんかこの夢の続きは描けないからっていう歌詞があって、もうそれがもうファンの中ではもう心に染みて、その一人抜けちゃう時になんかもう私もそこの部分聞くと泣き出るぐらい。
そのそばかすの歌詞の中でなんか好きな部分ありますか？
難しい。
そのアーティストを知ったきっかけは何ですか？
もう友達とか YouTube とか。
YouTube で今知ること多いですよね。
そうですね。もともとなんかインターネットに音楽をアップロードしてて、その米津玄師が。
YouTube から有名になった人なんですか？
ニコニコ動画っていうサイトがあるんですけど、そっちで普通に音楽をアップロードしてて、その時からずっと。
すごい昔からのファンっていうことですよね。
一応、はい。
一番初めに好きになったきっかけって何ですか？
きっかけ、いやもうなんか周りが聴いてるからみたいな、流されて自分を聴いてみて、すごいいいなと思って。はい。
その洋楽を聴き始めたきっかけって何ですか？
大学生の時に軽音サークルに入っていて、
音楽してそうな感じしますもんね。
それがきっかけで洋楽を聴くようになって、
ちなみにご職業はそのバンドとかそういう感じですか？
スマホのゲームを作ってる。
ゲーム作ってるんですか？なんか音楽してそうな感じしますけどね。
全然今はしてない。はい。
どういうゲーム作ってるんですか？
RPG ゲームで、まあ、実は最近アメリカ版とかも出したんですよ。アメリカ版とかも出した。
アメリカ版、よかったら名前言っても大丈夫ですか？
グランドサマナーズっていう。
グランドサマラーズ。
グランドサマナーズ。
アメリカ版もあるそうです。好きになったきっかけって何ですか？
なんかもともとアイドルが好きだったんですけど、まあいろいろ見てて、なんかもう他のアイドルとはなんかもう感覚なんですけど光ってるなっていうのがあって、
桃色ってすごい桃色じゃない、ももクロってすごい流行ってるじゃないですか。その魅力って何だと思います？
やっぱりなんかメンバー感がすっごい仲良くて、でまあ今年10周年なんですけど、そうなんですよ。もうなんかその成長の過程をずっと見てられるっていうのがすごい魅力ですね。
今まで行ったコンサートの中で一番良かったコンサートって誰のコンサートですか？
一番良かったのは
一番感動したコンサート。
そうですね、マイケル・ジャクソンとかよかった。
マイケル・ジャクソン行ったんですか？どうでした？
いや、ダンスがすごかった。
3年ぐらい前にあったポール・マッカートニーの
ありましたね。
はい、行きました。
どうでしたか？
いや、もう最高でした。
CD とかその好きなアーティストの CD 買いますか？
買いますね。はい。たまに買います。
日本って CD の売り上げが高い国の一つって知ってましたか？
初めて。
アメリカとかあんまり CD が売れないみたいで、韓国からもアーティストが来るじゃないですか。日本で結構 CD がやっぱ売れるっていうのがあるみたいで、なんかどうしてかなと思ってたんですけどコレクションファン歴どれくらいですか？
ファン歴いやでも中学生ぐらいから聞いてますね。
じゃあ結構長く。
そうですね。
もうサポートし始めて結構長いんですか？
長いです。
どれくらいですか？
もうどうぐらいだろう。7年ぐらいですかね。
7年。でずっと推してる子も変わらず。
変わらず。
海外の人がそのアーティストを知らなくて一番初めに聴くのにいい曲ってどの曲ですか？
なんだろう。ピースサイン？
ピースサイン。
はい。どれからでも大丈夫だと。どれからでも。なんか私めっちゃ恥ずかしい。
じゃあ好きなアーティストでもいいんですけど、海外の人が聴く日本のアーティストでおすすめのアーティストいますか？
エグザイル。
エグザイル。どうしてエグザイルですか？
いや、なんか有名だし。いや、ごめんなさい、適当です。
ありがとうございます。
ももクロとかね。
ももクロ。
椎名林檎とか。
いいですね。私も好きで椎名林檎。
オリンピックあるし。
そうか。オリンピックの曲もなんか日本って曲あれオリンピックの曲だったかな。もうそうですね。
オリンピックに向けて今すごい曲出してるんで、それ聴けばいいと思います。
なんか椎名林檎聞いてそんな感じする。
なんかそういう風に髪の毛切られました。
美容院の人にそれっぽくしようって言って。
しちゃおうよって。リンゴにしちゃおうよって言われて、って。
でも好きなアーティストはシャンク。
でもまあ女性なので椎名林檎。りんごさんはそうですね。
また別で。おすすめの人とかっていないですよね。日本人のアーティストで。
でも大学のその軽音サークルの後輩が今でもバンドやってる子たちがいるので、その後輩のバンドとかは応援してます。
ちなみになんていうバンドですか？
プププランドっていうバンド。
プププランド、なんかララランドみたいですね。映画のララランド。おすすめな曲特にないですか？
おすすめな曲はでも日本でやっぱ人気だった全然前世じゃないですか。
映画の
知ってるんじゃないですか。君の名はで。
映画のあれですね。なんだったっけ、海外のタイトル Your Song だったっけ？ Your Name 間違えた。Your Name か。じゃあその全然前世、ぜひ聞いてみてください。
でもももクロもなんか今年海外向けのファンクラブもできたので、ぜひみんなに知ってもらえたらなって思います。
そうなの、知らなかったです。海外でもね人気、ベビーメタルとか人気じゃないですか。ももクロもね結構好きな人いるでしょうね。
でもサカナクションも結構ダンスミュージックな曲が多いんで海外受けすると思います。
サカナクションと桃色クローバーチェッキラウト。
名の知れてる人で言えばちょっと分かんないかもしれないですけど、シクラメンが好きで、
シクラメン
っていう歌手が好きなのと、でもやっぱこう路上にもやっぱたくさんいいなんか歌手いるんで、
路上で歌ってる歌手の人を見に行くのにおすすめな場所はどこですか？
やっぱ渋谷じゃないですかね。
渋谷多いですか？
と思います。新宿も多かったんですけど、今新宿多分すごく厳しくて、
警察がよく歩いてますもんね。
だからまあだったら多分渋谷、あとまあ吉祥寺結構多いんで、9時以降夜は。
9時以降。
はい、
9時以降結構遅くからですね。
そうなんですよ。9時にお店が大体閉まるんで。
だから9時からアーティストが出てくる。
そうなんですよ。
ありがとうございます。
でもないです。
すごいいっぱい答えていただいて。
毎日こんな感じで路上で一人芝居やってますんで、もし見かけたらぜひ声かけてください。よろしくお願いします。
ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。Here today's keywords: 歌手 singer 楽器 instrument 流行り trend 海外 overseas 買う buy 歌詞 lyrics. If you enjoyed this video, please support us on Patreon. We release special behind-the-scene videos and extra content only on Patreon. Just click the link in the video description to learn more. Thank you so much for watching. 今日インタビューした方々でやっぱり多かったのは好きなアーティストの CD は買うという方が多かったです。I hope you enjoyed the video. If there's anything you want me to ask, please let us know in the comment. See you next time. Bye bye. Bye. ジュディ・マディのジュディ・マディジュディあれジュディWe release special Take 3 今日インタビューしたガタガタじゃないWhat's going on? And music was one of the reasons why I started learning Japanese. Oh my god, I messed up. ちょっと待って、I need some break.
Are you struggling to understand conversations in your target language? This video will improve your listening skills using practice dialogues. How do you know if your language skills are improving? Our team of teachers have designed a free quiz to determine your actual learning level. So click the link in the description to get your free assessment and unlock lessons that are right for you. In this lesson, you'll listen to a dialogue with the text. Second, you'll review the key vocabulary followed by the English translations. And finally, you'll review the dialogue with the text again to master what you learned. First, listen to the dialogue with the text on the screen.
はい、山猫宅急便です。
不在連絡票が入っていたのですが、再配達をお願いします。
お客様のお名前と不在連絡票の伝票番号をお願いします。
名前はメリー・スミスです。伝票番号は9876543です。
ご住所をお願いします。
新宿区西新宿 3-4-5 です。
Now you'll hear the key vocabulary, followed by the English translation.
不在連絡票
Attempted delivery notice.
伝票番号
Slip number.
宅急便 Door-to-door parcel delivery.
再配達
Redelivery.
Finally, let's review the dialogue again. See if you can understand more this time.
はい、山猫宅急便です。
不在連絡票が入っていたのですが、再配達をお願いします。
お客様のお名前と不在連絡票の伝票番号をお願いします。
名前はメリー・スミスです。伝票番号は9876543です。
ご住所をお願いします。
新宿区西新宿 3-4-5です。
This is the end of the lesson. In this lesson, you improved your listening and mastered key vocabulary for everyday life conversation. Don't forget to click the link in the description to get your free assessment and unlock lessons that are right for your learning level. Keep practicing and move on to the next lesson.
Konnichiwa, Keijun desu.
How did I learn Japanese? Before coming to Japan, I was studying Japanese for about 4 years.
Oh.
Yeah. While I was studying at university, I joined a language school and I was going there maybe like twice a week.
Okay.
Yeah, that was for 4 years. And then I went to Japan as exchange student. Okay. And I studied there like for 1.5 years.
I'm Japanese. My parents are Japanese. When I was really little, I studied a little bit of Japanese in Japanese school. But then as I got older, I didn't study Japanese at all, and then I basically lost all my Japanese. And then I had to move to Japan, and that's when I had to kind of learn Japanese again. But in the beginning, I didn't really learn, and I just kind of had to get into it without really learning. And then later on, I went to Japanese school, kind of, and learned for 2 years. But that was like a few years after living in Japan.
I went to a language school and I had 2 professors, one Japanese professor and Tunisian professor. And I went to Japanese university and I was taking Japanese class in the Japanese university.
I studied maybe 9 months or so before coming to Japan on my own, just looking at stuff on the net and listening to some lessons. The first sentence I learned was 私はアメリカ人です It's not even true. And I was watching a lot of anime and listening to Japanese. And
everything by yourself?
Yeah.
Oh.
So when I came to Japan, I knew like the few basic phrases, and then I was studying at a college for 2 years, just Japanese. Like 4 hours a day. I think that helped me get a good base.
I learned Japanese at school when I was in high school, but I studied for exam only, so I didn't speak Japanese at all. I knew some Japanese words, but I don't know how to speak. I started speaking Japanese when I came to Japan. I was exposed to like Japanese TV shows or Japanese people around me, so that's how I learned Japanese. And also I have some advantages because I'm Korean and the Korean language is pretty similar to Japanese language in terms of the vocabulary and grammar. Yeah, I spent more than 10 years for learning English, but I couldn't speak. But after learning Japanese for a few months in Japan, I could speak Japanese. I had some advantages.
Learning Japanese is easy.
If you learn Korean, it's easy. And if you know Japanese, that means you can learn Korean language easily too.
Next question.
I like Japanese comedy, so when I watch some variety shows or something, they speak like they would a normal conversation. So listening a lot to that, and then if I found a word or a sentence that I hear a lot, I try to memorize that and look it up, and then I can learn it because I will hear it again. I remember in the beginning it was like "nani" or something like that. You know?
Good question. How about you?
Okay, I'm answering first. I just basically became comfortable with speaking Japanese from having to speak Japanese at school, and all the people, or most of the students, were all Japanese. There were no ways to speak to people unless I spoke to them in Japanese because they couldn't really speak English, and I wanted to make friends. I think that was my biggest motivation. I wanted to make friends, so I just had to speak Japanese, and my Japanese was really bad, but I still tried to speak Japanese with any kind of Japanese I knew.
Same.
That's how I became comfortable with it, slowly and slowly and slowly. And like people couldn't really understand me in the beginning, but they would be really nice. So they would try to understand me even though my Japanese was really bad.
Repeating and repeating and repeating sometimes the same question and answer helped me a lot. And people like looked at me and say, "Wow, so going."
I mean, you don't learn Japanese by hanging out with people from your own country. So if you want to get used to it, you gotta speak to native speakers. If you can speak a little bit Japanese, they will praise you. They will like, yeah, your Japanese is so good. So you feel like, okay, I can say more and more. It's okay to make mistakes, and you can learn from that.
Being here, you get like surrounded by like the language, because you go to the street and you say, see a kanji here, kanji over there, you have to go to supermarket, you use the language, and like anything. I even like change my phone to Japanese, like you go buy mangas in Japanese and try to read them. Lots of them have furigana, and that's super good.
I try to use lots of Japanese words even when I speak English. Have you noticed?
Like Japanglish.
Yeah, this is so cold. This is めっちゃ cold.
There's a lot of Japanese words that you can't translate in English.
めんどくさい.
Oh yeah, めんどくさい.
めんどくさい.
めんどくさい. Or like お疲れ様です. Like there's no really direct translation. So it's, even if you're in like a English speaking atmosphere, you just want to say like お疲れ.
Yeah, if they are in Japan.
Yeah, because that's just you can't get it across in the other language.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You feel more motivated here in Japan, like studying here or in Tunisia?
Actually, I feel much more motivated to speak Japanese in Japan because I feel really the need to communicate in the combini or in the supermarket when go shopping. So I was furnishing much more effort to learn and to study at least 30 minutes a day.
日本語で話しましょう。
どうやって日本人と友達になれるか。
私の場合は日本に来たばっかりの時に日本語を少ししか話せないけど音楽が好きからライブハウスに行って自分が好きな音楽のアーティストを見に行ったらそのアーティストが外国人がいるって思ってそう声かけられてでそっからその人と友達になった。
あら完璧すぎるんじゃない？
音楽で友達ができたで一緒に演奏してその後ご飯に行ったりして12年前の話
でも今
も友達だし、今音楽一緒に作ってるそうギタリスト、趣味が合うといいよね。
日本に来てどのくらいですか？
今6年ぐらい。
日本は好きですか？
好き、もちろん好き。食べ物好き。
食べ物好き。何が一番好きですか？
全部の食べ物大好き。でも日本の食べ物
納豆も好き？
納豆
全部じゃない。
全部じゃない。納豆そうそう。
納豆そうそう。
ベタベタこのベタベタな。
ちょっとベタベタしてるから。
刺身大好き。
刺身何でも大丈夫刺身。
何でも大丈夫。私の国は海とても近く。
あ、そうだよね。海の近く。
そう。そして日本みたい。
日本みたい？どういうところが例えば？食べ物。食べ物が魚介類、シーフードとか。
土曜日にハイキング行きましたね。
はい。
行ったね。楽しかったね。高尾山を登ったケイジンと私と友達と。
599メートルで。
よく覚えてるね。
で東京から1時間ぐらい。
新宿から
1時間
高尾山はまだ東京の中に。
あ、そっか。
まだ東京でしょ？そう。
チェックした。
多分ギリギリ東京。
ギリギリ東京か。
何が一番いい思い出になったその日？
メグちゃんを押すこと？
それ誰も意味わかんない。私はそんなに山登り得意じゃなくて、 ケイジンがいっぱい押してくれました。で、それがケイジンの一番いい思い出らしいです。
なんか
よくわからないけど。
いい人になった気持ちだったから。
私いい人。頑張れね、
頑張れ。来年の目標は富士山に登ることです。頑張ります。
頑張ります。
Yeah, like, because at the beginning for me, because I was studying in Spain, when I came here, it was like, oh, I don't really know anything. Everything was like, I cannot speak anything. And it took maybe me like half a year to become very comfortable to start speaking. So once you realize like, nobody's gonna laugh at you. So you can just try and everybody is going to be like super happy and appreciate that you're trying to speak the language. And sometimes they can help you, that you will learn a lot from the other people.
Going out and speak with the new people is one of the most important tips to learn actually a language. Just leave your book.
And talk.
Talk to people.
And what about you? For me to speak English, I think even though you can't speak English or Japanese perfectly, just try to speak.
Yeah.
Like as you said, like just to try, just no hesitation. Yeah. Because if you hesitate, you would never get improved. Yeah. You know, people would understand you don't speak Japanese or English fluently because you're not native speaker and you're still learning. So you just need to try, I think.
Yeah. And I think one other tips is also, when you are speaking a language, just try to think in that language.
Oh, that's good point.
Yeah,
yes,
because, for example, I speak Arabic, I speak French, I speak English, I speak Japanese. But is when I speak that language, I stop to think in the other language. Because if you think all the time, like for example, you think in Arabic and try to translate what you are thinking in Arabic in Japanese, that won't work.
Yeah. For me, I sometimes stuck because in my head I'm thinking in Japanese and I try to translate to English and there's no exactly like the direct translation for that word and I get stuck.
So that's not point. So always I think try to think in that language.
For me, you need to get exposed to Japanese environment more. For example, you watch Japanese speaking Japanese videos or like anime or Japanese drama, movie, and you can read manga. That helped me a lot. I see how they communicate each other and then I pick up some words and I try to use it to other people, and when it works, it makes me so happy. I think that's some good way to learn Japanese, and it's also a fun way to learn Japanese. And also there are lots of fun videos on JapanesePod101.com that helped me a lot. For example, I went hiking last Saturday and then it was rainy, so I made a teru teru bozu.
True story.
It's basically a Japanese lucky doll that stops raining. So I made it, but it still rained. But luckily, it wasn't
It's still
heavy
rained.
rain.
It still rained.
It still rained.
It didn't really work.
At least it wasn't heavy rain. There is Teru Teru Bozu song too.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I did know that. I made that video. My biggest tip for speaking Japanese would just be surround yourself with Japanese people and force yourself to speak Japanese even if you are not comfortable yet. I think there won't be like a perfect time, so you just have to like throw yourself into it, and once you start speaking, you'll slowly get better and better, and surround yourself with people that can speak Japanese and speak to them as much as you can, and that will really help you speak Japanese no matter what level you are at.
When I speak Japanese with other Japanese people, they don't actually correct me every time I make a mistake. But teachers always correct me, and also they give me some better expressions, better phrases, or even give me some useful phrases that is related to that topic. So that actually helped me improve my Japanese more. So I still learn Japanese twice a week.
With Motoko sensei.
And Yamabuchi sensei.
Oh, you learn with them too?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I don't know these things.
We have lots of teachers at JapanesePod101.com.
Don't be afraid.
Number one thing, don't be afraid.
日本語は楽しいです。 Do you use JapanesePod101.com?
Oh yeah, of course. It's the best site.
We use it.
Yeah, well, I do use it. Yes, and it's a very nice, especially the.
What's the best time to use it?
The best time of the day? The best time of the day to use it is when you're on your 1 hour commute to work.
That's the answer I was hoping.
Yes.
Are you struggling to understand conversations in your target language? This video will improve your listening skills using practice dialogues. How do you know if your language skills are improving? Our team of teachers have designed a free quiz to determine your actual learning level. So click the link in the description to get your free assessment and unlock lessons that are right for you. In this lesson, you'll listen to a dialogue with the text. Second, you'll review the key vocabulary, followed by the English translations. And finally, you'll review the dialogue with the text again to master what you learned. First, listen to the dialogue with the text on the screen.
すみません。このセットにウニは入っていますか？
はい、入っています。
ウニを他のものと取り替えられますか？
はい、いいですよ。何がいいですか？
すみません。魚の名前があまりよくわからないので。
サーモンはいかがですか？
はい。じゃあサーモンでお願いします。
Now you'll hear the key vocabulary, followed by the English translation.
ウニ
Sea urchin.
ウニウニサーモン
Salmon.
サーモンサーモンマグロ
Tuna.
マグロマグロトロ
Fatty tuna.
トロトロイカ
Squid.
イカイカイクラ
Salmon roe.
イクライクラ
Finally, let's review the dialogue again. See if you can understand more this time.
すみません。このセットにウニは入っていますか？
はい、入っています。
ウニを他のものと取り替えられますか？
はい、いいですよ。何がいいですか？
すみません。魚の名前があまりよくわからないので。
サーモンはいかがですか？
はい。じゃあサーモンでお願いします。
This is the end of the lesson. In this lesson, you improved your listening and mastered key vocabulary for everyday life conversation. Don't forget to click the link in the description to get your free assessment and unlock lessons that are right for your learning level. Keep practicing and move on to the next lesson.
Expand your vocabulary with our core 2,000 words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free Japanese ebook before it's gone.